notice one of them is all looking shaved. The other looks a little rough around the tree. But you know, the interesting thing is, it's not who we are. It's who we can become, who we will be. So he looks at these two trees, one trim and slim. Lord, I didn't mean to lie. I'm sorry. And he sees the other all rough and gruff. And he takes his spade and gently, he takes the one that we would not choose and puts a spade and brings him loose. Tony, you may sit down. Steve, will you come with me? For you see, this is the land of wannabe. This is the land the way that we think we should be. This is the land that follows the way that he said we should be. So Steve, keep on coming. I've got you in my spade, okay? Let me take you over here. Way over here, where not from a distance you see what's outside. You can be very close. I'd like you to right there. And though at this time in our life, Steve, we see through a glass darkly, but then we're going to see him face to face, and everything that we hope for will be. So it is for those that God brings to his kingdom. Not the beautiful man that is looking good, but the man who has the attitude to be what he wants, what God wants him to be. Now, I use this only for illustration, not to put Tony down because he hasn't finished my cards. I want him to be my friend till that's done. So, in the meantime, even though he has a great influence alongside him, Tony has to make his own mind up to be moved, to be closer. As each one of us that have in this room, it's our attitude that determines our altitude. Say it with me. It's our attitude that determines our altitude. Paul in Ephesians chapter 4, in one verse, says it in a capsule of how to exist in this land, in this environment, and have peace in our heart, though there's troubles all around us. He said this, be angry, but sin not. And don't let the sun go down on your wrath. How many have heard that? I think you read it. It's like you heard it. Be angry, but sin not, and don't let the sun go down on your wrath. Say it with me. Be angry, but sin not, and don't let the sun go down on your wrath. Paul, in the 10th chapter of 1 Corinthians, said that everything that happened in the Old Testament is an example for us to learn. So let's go back in the Old Testament for a moment. 1 Samuel chapter 7. David is at this time not king, but he has 600 men that are following him. Warriors. Tough. They weren't Marines, they were soldiers. They weren't that tough. Okay. But they were special forces, if you will, okay? These guys were strong, and they were battle ready. There's a Nabal. Nabal means foolish, unwise, stupid. Could have been called David, who knows? But his name was Nabal. Nabal amassed a great fortune by trickery and by using other people. At this time, he had 3,000 sheep, and he sent them out with shepherds into the hillside. And David, with his 600 troopers, protected those sheep and those shepherds all during the year. And when it came time for the shearing to happen, they brought the sheep in. Nabal paid the shearers and the shepherds by lambs for their table. David, having protected them, sent 2 men over to Nabal and said, "You know, we have protected your stuff, and we're hungry. Would you give us some food?" Nabal said, "Who are you? And who is the son of Jesse? Means nothing to me, out of my way." So the 2 men went back and told David what he said. If I use King James language, David was so upset. Get your swords on. I'm getting my sword on. In the morning, go to Nabal's place, and we will kill everyone that pisseth against the wall. Now, that's what he said. I don't know how to make that any nicer. But he said, every man, that means from about 4 years old on up, because they had a wall that they did their thing against, you know. Every man that's that old, on up, 4 on up, we're going to kill them all. And we're going to take all the food. Well, one of the servants heard Nabal tell David's 2 representatives, well, you know, he wasn't going to give him anything. And went to Abigail. Now, Abigail was very attractive and very intelligent. Said, "Abigail, you don't know what your husband just did. He just signed our death warrant." Abigail was pretty smart. So she got a bunch of food together, and she got on her ass in a way, it's exactly what it says. She got on her ass, okay, and took off to go see David and talk to him, and because she knew that David was going to rip him open. And here she came down the valley, and here comes 400 men, because David had left 200 to watch the camp. 400 soldiers, armed to the teeth, ready to kill every man in Nabal's camp and take all the goods. And she fell on her knees, fell on her face. If I do that, I might hurt the floor. She said, "Don't do this. Let God take care of it. I know you're angry. But don't do it. Let God take care of it." And David said, "Okay, you're pretty attractive, pretty smart. And, is that better? Okay. You're pretty attractive and pretty smart, so I'll back off." Took his men back to camp. 10 days later, Nabal had his big party, and everybody's doing good, and all of a sudden, boom, he falls over dead. So all the anger that David had toward Nabal was taken care of by God. Paul tells us in Romans, "Vengeance is mine." Chapter 12, verse 19. "Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord," not yours. It's not our job to correct people who offend us. Let's go to the New Testament. 2nd chapter of John. Jesus turned the water into wine. That was a private miracle. It was not his coming out miracle. Micah said, "Suddenly he will come to his temple." You know that, don't you? And when he came, he was not happy. Jesus was angry. He was pushed out of shape. That's the way I'm going to say it, okay? He was really mad because they had turned the temple into a place of commerce, and the priests were ripping off the people. He went in there and he turned over the money tables. He let loose the lambs. He let loose the goats. He let loose the beef. Then he came to the guy that had the lambs, like you have a little lamb alongside of you, right? Yeah. He said, you take that baby out of here. Take those lambs out of here. I'm really mad, but I'm not going to do any harm. I'm not going to do something that's irretrievable. Because if you let that lamb go, he ain't going to come home. And so if you let those doves go, there's no way they're going to come home. So just get them out of here. Get them out of here. I am mad. Be angry, but don't hurt anything. Don't break anything. Don't cause something to happen that's going to hurt somebody else. And sin not. Sin is an attitude that determines your altitude. Sin is stepping across the line on somebody else's foot. So they're getting hurt and not you. Sin is using, abusing another person or group to your advantage. So for your benefit and my benefit, let's learn the lesson. Be angry, say it with me. Be angry, but sin not, and don't let the sun go down on your wrath. Now, I know I'm the only person here that's ever done this. I got so angry at somebody. All night, I'm sweating. I wished I could get him. Get him. I want to get him. You know what he's doing? Boy, did I show him. Yeah. Be angry, but sin not, and don't let the sun go down on your wrath. Let it loose, because vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. How many want to get a greater altitude by getting a greater attitude? So let's say it again. Attitude determines your altitude. Say it again. Attitude determines your altitude. Look up. Look up. And don't let anything else mess with your mind. God bless you.